Welcome to another edition of Time About the Movies. We're in the middle of February 1990. We've got a couple movies to look at today, and we're not going to look at speaking parts, even though I said we were going to look at it in the last episode. Couldn't find a trailer for it. I only found one clip. There really isn't a whole lot there to talk about, so we're going to hold off on that one for right now. But we do have 4 movies to look at, so let's go ahead and start getting into them. So let's go ahead and start with the first movie that came out, the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Revenge.
Costner is a man who loves his freedom.
I'm going on a vacation, man. I'm not going to work for anybody, all right?
It's good to see you. Anthony Quinn is a man who loves his power.
This is Mireya, my wife. This is Jay, my friend.
Tippy's told me a lot about you.
She was the last thing in the world he wanted.
Do you think my wife is beautiful?
Hi.
Hello.
What do you want me to say? Of course.
What are you doing here?
Well, the truth is I was bored.
Until she became the only thing in the world he wanted.
Do you feel the way I feel?
I don't know that I have the right to feel anything.
Because a woman like that,
Forget about right or wrong.
it's almost anything to keep her.
When love turns to obsession.
For a long time, I didn't let myself want anything.
This is what we don't do. We don't forget who we are. We don't forget where we are.
You think that you're taking another man's away?
There are no rules.
I love you.
Tell her how I'm killed.
Kevin Costner, Anthony Quinn, Madeline Stowe in a film by Tony Scott.
Where is she?
Revenge.
Interesting thing about this movie, this was actually based off of a novella called Legends of the Fall. This was put out by Columbia Pictures. Columbia Pictures, 5 years later, would later do a completely different film called Legends of the Fall. I thought that was pretty interesting. But this is Tony Scott, director of Top Gun, who also did Beverly Hills Cop 2. Kevin Costner, pre-Oscar wins with Dances with Wolves. Anthony Quinn, Madeline Stowe. And it's a very flawed movie. It's a movie where you can kind of see where Tony Scott's directing abilities are involved in here. You could see elements that he took from Top Gun in this. There are some parts here where you can definitely tell his directing style, but for the most part, this is a movie that's kind of all over the place. I think they said at one point the script had 12 different endings to it. So I don't know how they got 12 different endings, because most of this, I think we can pretty much assume what's going to happen, and I don't know. I mean, the casting is alright. Kevin Costner's pretty good here. So is Madeline Stowe and Anthony Quinn. But for the most part, the script is all over the place. It's kind of predictable, but it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Does it want to be a straight-up revenge thriller? Does it want to be an erotic thriller? What does it want to be? I mean, it just doesn't really tell you. It doesn't really give you a complete idea of what you're going to be thinking by the time this movie is over. That's from the regular cut I saw. Apparently there's a director's cut that Scott did that came out about 15 years ago, which is actually shorter than the original cut. I think the original cut is the original cut's only 2 hours long, and this director's cut's only about just a little over an hour and a half. So maybe it's something different. Maybe it's something that I need to look at some point. I didn't look at that one. I looked at the original version. As far as the original version goes, like I said, it's all over the place. I don't think it really had a good idea of what it wanted to be. That's my thinking on it. So that's Revenge. Let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is Kirstie Alley and John Larroquette in the comedy Madhouse.
Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. No, get that snack later. You listen to me. Lock your doors. Don't answer the phone. If you have to leave the country, then leave the country, but don't let them in.
What are you talking about?
I am talking about house guests from hell. We're here.
They came by air.
Meet your cousins. What? And Jessie.
Oh, no.
They came by land.
You wouldn't happen to have any good scotch, would you?
And then they started to multiply.
He looks insane. We're not insane. We're from New Jersey.
And multiply.
I'm building bleachers and a TV set.
Uncle Mark, I think I just ran over your cat.
Oh, God, I'm gonna have a flat baby.
Some house guests came unannounced.
Maybe we're in some vacation guide for the damned.
Some announced.
This is the place. We have him surrounded.
We have to do something about these people.
Then, one day,
You touch me, I sue you.
Mark and Jesse snapped. When house guests become house pests, it's time to exterminate. John Larroquette, Kirstie Alley.
They're animals. They're cockroaches. If we have a nuclear war, the only living thing to survive will be house cats.
Madhouse.
Yet another comedy that had so much ambition, but it wastes this too good of a cast. I mean, John Larroquette, come on, man. You got to pick better movie scripts than this. I mean, this is the second film that we've seen him in the last couple of months where it looks like he picked a movie just to have a movie where he thinks it's going to be a success. He's just doing it for the paycheck. I mean, this is a big mistake on his part, and Kirstie Alley's part too. I think this was her second leading role after her success on Cheers. Look Who's Talking was the first big success she had, and then this one. But not only that, you have Jessica Lundy, who would be in a couple of other movies in the 90s, specifically Trial and Error. She was also on the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show. Dennis Miller's also in this. John Deal, who's both an actor and a director. But what a mess of a movie this is. This is one of those movies where it's trying to be a dark black comedy, but it's just doing stuff to just stick to the wall. Anything that sticks, anything that doesn't stick, just keep throwing stuff at the wall, and nothing sticks. Nothing sticks with this movie. It's just a movie that's failing miserably to try to get a cheap laugh out of you, and it gets annoying. It gets annoying really fast. It's a movie that, like I said, you can't believe this talent was involved with this movie. It's a mess. It's a mess of a film all around. It's a bad movie. It's what you expect from a comedy in the month of February, or a movie in the month of February in general. They just dump whatever bad movie they had left on the wall, put it in theaters, and hope it makes money before they can put the good stuff out. And lo and behold, this did not make any money for them. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and it's Clive Barker's follow-up to Hellraiser, and that is Nightbreed.
Who's buried in Midian? Ain't nothing but dead folk.
Somewhere, hidden from sight, closer than you might think, is a place that's not on any map. Midian.
Something's breeding there.
It looks a lot like hell, but they call it home.
There goes the neighborhood.
They're not pretty. They're not neighborly.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
They're not even human. But this time, they're the good guys. From the imagination of Clive Barker comes Nightbreed.
You can't go down there.
They have only one enemy. A beast called man, sworn to destroy the Nightbreed.
Sounds like we're going head-to-head with the devil himself.
And only one chance. A man called Moon.
It's time to fight. Go get 'em, boys.
I'll kill you.
What chance have we got?
They're armed. So am I.
Out of your deepest fears and your darkest fantasies, Clive Barker brings you a startling new breed of adventure. I won't let you down. Nightbreed. At last, the night has a hero.
Yeah, this is kind of what you'd expect from a director who made a critically, financially, and financial cult classic in Hellraiser, and everyone's already promoting him as the next great horror filmmaker, and then this is what he follows it up with. And it turns out it was not the best successful move for him. Now, to be fair, Warner Brothers probably had a huge interference on the film, as Barker has said that he protested the film company trying to sell it as a standard slasher film, and he didn't have Final Cut approval on the film. is he didn't have final cut approval on the film, and he eventually later on got to re-edit the film together, and Shout Factory actually did a director's cut of this in 2014. Now, unfortunately, I have not seen this version. I'm just going by the theatrical version that came out in 90, and yeah, it's pretty bad. You could definitely tell that the studio had no idea what they were getting into. They didn't really know Clive Barker's style of filmmaking, and it shows in this trailer. I mean, it is being sold as a typical slasher film from a guy who created Hellraiser, one of the most unique and creative horror movies of its time. And it's just not a good movie. This cut at least, like I said with Revenge, maybe the alternate cut is a lot better. I keep hearing it's a lot better, but yeah, for Clive Barker to come after Hellraiser to do this, it really dampened his career, and he didn't really do a whole lot of directing films after this one. I think he only did one other film that went to theaters, and that was Lord of Illusions from 1995, but I mean, there's some stuff in here that's good. I like Craig Sheffer in this. He would also be in Sleepwalkers later on. David Cronenberg, the director, is also in this as an actor. The visuals look pretty nice. There are some nice practical effects in this movie that really took... When I watched the trailer, I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty good looking. But, yeah. Biggest problem with it is that they tried to sell it as a slasher film, and apparently that was not what it wanted to be. Like I said, I haven't seen the director's cut of this. It's probably a whole lot better, but from what I've seen from the theatrical cut, I can definitely see why Clive Barker was upset. I mean, this is not a very good movie overall, so... So, with that said, let's get on to the last movie, and that is Courage Mountain.
Mountain home in search of a dream. To become an educated woman.
That's where you learn how to survive.
But a world at war would test her courage and her will to survive.
Expect us to climb that? We can make it.
A Disney Channel discovery. Charlie Sheen. I will go and get her. Leslie Caron.
Have you found them yet?
Tonight, a world television premiere. Courage Mountain, only on the Disney Channel.
Sorry, that was the only version I can get. It was a Disney Channel promo, because when I looked for the trailer for this, the sound was so low and I couldn't get it up high enough. So I just took the clip from a Disney Channel promo from a year after this movie came out. And this is also a Heidi sequel. If you never knew that this was based off of the Heidi series, the movies and all that, this is apparently what it is, even though it doesn't say anything like that in the title of the film. And the only way you can figure that out is if you go to the synopsis of the film. But Charlie Sheen is in this, Leslie Caron, and can't really say anything about it, but from the looks of it, it at least looks visually gorgeous. I mean, these mountain scenes in here look pretty good, but I haven't heard anything really good about this movie. I don't think a lot of people have said anything really interesting about it, but that's just what I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on it, but it came out this weekend, so we might as well have talked about it. So there we go. That is Courage Mountain. And with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next week, the weekend of February 23rd, features Where the Heart Is, a Disney movie, The Blood of Heroes, Angel Town, Mountains of the Moon, Spontaneous Combustion. Movies that didn't even crack the top 10, so I'm not getting my hopes up for next week's crop of movies. So we'll delve into that tomorrow on tomorrow's episode. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you want to see more videos like this, check out the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next episode. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Until then, take care.